To find vertical asymptotes of these rational functions, we are just going to take our denominator and set it equal to 0. So in our first example, we find our denominator and we say 2x minus 4 equals 0, and then we just go through the process of solving for x. So in the end, we have x equals 2. Now remember, a vertical asymptote is a vertical line, so we want to use the correct notation. When I leave my answer like x equals 2, I am showing that that's an equation for a vertical line. Now our next example, x squared minus 9, set it equal to 0. Now on this one, if we add 9 to both sides, we have x squared equals 9. To undo our x squared, we'll take the square root of both sides. So we have x equals, this is the tricky part that we have to make sure we remember, otherwise we're going to miss an entire half of this graph. Anytime we take the square root of something, that gives us the two answers. That's where our plus and minus comes from. So x is equal to a plus and minus 3. Now our last one down here, we're going to take our denominator, set it equal to 0. And when we have a term with x squared and x in it, we have to factor to solve for this. When there's just a 1 out in front of our x squared, this is our more simple factoring, where we'll only look at our last term and say, what are factors of negative 4 that add up to a positive 3? So, you know, if I think 4 times negative 1 is negative 4, but 4 plus negative 1 is that 3. So factored, this is going to look like x plus 4 and then x minus 1. It still equals 0. So at this point, anywhere that we see that x, we are just going to go ahead and write these little equations so that we get x equals a negative 4, and then so we subtract 4 from both sides, add 1 to both sides, so x is a negative 4 and a positive 1. So it doesn't, you know, no matter what the rational function looks like, as long as you are setting your denominator equal to 0 and solving for x, you will get that vertical asymptote.